Madam, there's few more to join, but we can start, madam. Okay.
Okay, Janani.
Okay, madam. I'll start with the introduction then, madam.
Okay. Sure.
Very good evening to all of you. And welcome to the 12th webinar of Faculty of Indigenous Social Sciences and Management Studies on blended learning, creating your unique blend. So before we start, I would like to remind everyone that this webinar is being recorded and it might be used for dissemination purposes of our faculty. And now to proceed with our webinar, it is my pleasure to introduce our distinguished resource person, Dr. Kaushalya Yatigammana, a senior lecturer attached to the Department of Commerce and Financial Management at University of California. Dr. Yatigammana is the director of the National E-Learning Resource Center and also the chairperson of the Board of Study in Digital Learning. And also Dr. Yatigammana, in her attempt to promote knowledge, has contributed several journal articles, conference proceedings, and leading newspaper articles as well. And also she has been extensively featured in educational TV programs like Taksalava and interviews with print media to lead and moderate discussions related to e-learning, operations management, and information and communication technology. So for her remarkable service, Dr. Yatigammana has received Vice Chancellor's Award and Best Paper Awards from University of California. So now I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Kaushalya Yatigammana. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Janani, for your kind introduction. So welcome all of you, even though I think the people will join, right? So since we have only very limited time and also we experienced the power cut, since this session is being recording, so I think we'll start and we will finish this by time. And if you have any questions, I will finish around 5 minutes before the scheduled time. So then you can ask your questions within 5 minutes, right? So I have a presentation for you all. Let me share my presentation. Janani, could you please, all right, okay, I think I can now share it. Okay. Right. Yes, so today we are going to discuss what is blended learning, right? So as Janani told me over the phone that she is hoping to have a series of sessions on blended learning. So today this 1 hour is only dedicated for you all to introduce what is blended learning, right? So before we proceed with how to implement blended learning in your class, we should first know what is blended learning and what type of blended learning approaches are there and for what purpose that we are using blended learning, right? Okay, so let's start with education, right? Because even though it is e-learning, even though it is mobile learning, even it is flexible learning, we can name it anyway, but it is under one umbrella. It is called education, right? So now we are in the age of education 4.0. Since most of you are from management faculty, you know we are talking about industry 4.0. Right, so industry 4.0 is where the artificial intelligence and virtual reality, augmented reality, and we are talking about smart things, right? So Internet of Things. So those are the things or technological tools that we are talking about in industry 4.0. So the education is now absorbing these latest technologies, and it is called, now we are in the era of education 4.0. So education 4.0 is not just one stage. It has a evolution from education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So that is also similar with industry 1.0 education, industry 2.0 and so on. Okay, so what is there in the latest in the environment, it can be absorbed to the education. Okay, so what is the latest technology available in the specific era is going to be absorbed for the different industries. So education is one of the industries that technology is going to be absorbed, right? So education 1.0, actually, we are talking about very passive learners are there. Okay, students are passive. That is, teacher is teaching everything and students are only taking notes and memorizing things and facing for the examination and get results like that. So that is called education 1.0, where there is no technologies available. Okay, so I don't know whether someone in my age, not in my age, maybe yes, even in my age, that when we were schooling around 1985 to around 1999, Sri Lanka has this education 1.0. That is passive learning, right? We were taught what, or we were learn what our teachers say. We even still our students are same, right? They don't ask any questions. So it is only memorizing things, right? So that is called education 1.0, and also we are calling that teacher-centered education. So teacher is the main role there. Okay, the teacher is the main role, and even though we are living in a global village, still in some institutions, some environments, some contexts, still using this education 1.0, where there is no technology, only passive learning. Learners are there, and teacher is the most prominent role. Okay, and then with the evolution of the internet, right, in 1990s, that is later 1990s, or just beginning of year 2000, that education also absorbed the latest technology in the world, that is the internet. Okay, so education 2.0 is where internet-enabled learning, and it is not truly the student-centered learning, but the education has, or the education used the internet-enabled technologies for their education. So communication, collaboration, connection between each other was enabled in education 2.0. And when it comes to education 3.0, that is where the student-centered learning was introduced, right? With the help of the technology, and also even though there is no technology, you can still implement student-centered learning in your schools, but or in your lecture halls. But if you are using some kind of technology, it will be more effective, right? So student-centered learning, and there the teacher was only like a coordinator, right? She or he is only directing the student where they are going, what activities that they should do. So teacher is not the main person there, but the students are the main, or students are the people who are doing the main role in education 3.0. And also in education 3.0, I'm going to introduce a new concept for you all. I think most of you already know this concept, that is called flipped classroom. Okay, so in education 3.0, in that era, the flipped classroom technique was introduced, right? So we will discuss it later. And now we are in the era of education 4.0. I don't know whether Sri Lanka is in what stage, but that Sri Lanka is in. Okay, sometimes we are in education 2.0, 3.0, but we are still the education 4.0 is yet to come to Sri Lanka, right? And there are more interactive sessions are there, and the students can learn with their own learning pace of time, right? and also more personalized learning. That is, if students, if a student wants something to learn, he or she can learn and get certified and get that professional qualification or any other academic qualification. And teacher is only the enabler, okay, not even the coordinator. The teacher is an enabler, just giving the content. Okay, so the student do the main thing there, and also the high technologies like I told you, AI. Now, if AI used for the education, that is artificial intelligence, right? So if AI used for the education, now we can give more personalized learning. That is, say if we are given some content to the students to study, I mean a video recorded lesson. So based on the video recorded lesson and based on the answers that the student is giving, a student is giving after he or she follow that particular video lesson, and based on the answers that students is giving, the system can categorize whether the student is a good learner, average learner, or a weak learner. So based on that, the system will give the next video. Right, I'm sorry, right? Because of the low signals of the phone, right? So I'm sorry, I will share it again. Right, so hope the screen is visible for you all. So education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. So we discuss about the education, the evolution of the education. So in education 4.0, this is what we are going to have, right? So as I told you earlier, education 4.0, it is more personalized learning, right? So if I want something to get learned, then of course we can go to the internet, or we can use any method of learning or technology, and can have our intended learning outcomes. And then the second is more remote learning opportunities. Okay, now if I tell you that like MOOCs, that is massive open source online courses, I will introduce you all these things later actually. So remote learning is actually the distance doesn't matter, right? Even if you are far away from the location, from the education institute, still you can learn, right? So now with this COVID pandemic and the specific fuel crisis that Sri Lanka is facing, now our students are tend to get their education from as the remote learners. Okay, so from remote, even they are in their homes and where they are working, they are still learning. Okay, so that mean the geographical barriers, they don't act as a barrier to their education. Okay, actually this remote learning was there. You know, our the external courses are conducted as remote learning courses, but that when those external degrees were started, they were not use the technology. Okay, what they did is actually they had classes in everywhere, and a central location, the exams will be held. But now with the technology, okay, now our external degrees, they are using the LMS and other technologies to deliver the lessons to the students. Okay, so there is an evolution of the remote learning as well. Okay, And now as the third one, the plethora of education tools. That is, we are using huge number of education tools now. So we will discuss those things later. And data at the fingertips, right? Actually, you can get every data because of this internet technology. Now, when we were studying and when we were doing our undergraduate programs, even to fill a question, we had to go one by one. Even we had to go in every household to get a questionnaire to be filled. But now with the Google form, you can just send the questionnaire and get it done. So everything is every data is at your fingertips. And also I can remember in our days now, if we want to get a central bank report and even a company report, company annual reports, we had to contact those institutions or we had to purchase them as a hard copy. But now everything is online, everything is digital mode. So you can download anything, any statistical data you can download. And when we were doing PhDs, actually everything was on internet. But earlier days, we have heard our senior faculty members, the professors. Now they were telling that when they were doing the PhD, they took considerable time, at least 5 years to 6 years to complete the PhD. But now people are completing their PhDs in very less time frame. Within 3 years, they can complete because every data now in digital mode. Okay, no need to go here and there, no need to go physically to the libraries and other places to collect data. Everything is online. Okay, and easy and accurate assessment. You can actually now, if you are using LMS to give your assessment to the students, evaluation to your students, actually everything can be analyzed, right? Everything can be analyzed. Now, if you are giving a quiz to the student, when you are giving physically, you have to mark every quiz, but in LMS, it is very easy. It is automatically marked, right? So it is very accurate and very easy. So there are many methods that you can give this kind of evaluation and mark them. And also when you click one button, the results will be shared among your students. And project-based learning. And also there are many methods of learning there, project-based, team-based. Okay, there are many methods. So we will discuss those things later. Specifically, the project-based learning is that you are given a specific task for a group of students, so they can complete that task within the given time frame with the help of the technology. And also with the help of the technology, actually they can collaboratively do that. Okay, now if you are using Google Forms or Google Sheet, actually it is very easy for you all to collaborate, right? Now, earlier days, we had to type in a Word document and we had to share it with our members. And then again, they should edit it and then send back. That is how we did. But now the collaborative tools are available. We can stay where we are and can open the document and all the members can work collaboratively. And also, if you want a live sessions, we have these live discussions and all that. So it is very collaborative, and the project-based learning is something that the particular task is given to a group of students and they can use the technology. With the help of the technology, that they can finish the task within a given time frame. So if you have any questions, please put on the chat. I will answer at the end of this session, right? Okay. Then I will slowly, I'm slowly moving to this, the importance of the blended learning. Okay, so or blended learning or technology-enabled learning. Why we should use technology-enabled learning or blended learning? Okay, what is the importance? Do you know who is a digital native? Who is a digital native? Actually, a digital native is a person who is exposed to the technology in his earlier stage of the life. Okay, now the people who are born if you take Sri Lanka, people who born after year 2000 can be considered as digital natives. But in other part of the world, that is in developed countries, they consider the digital natives as the people who are born in around 1995. Okay, because they are the one who exposed to the latest technology. You know, if you take a small child nowadays, they can operate these technological devices more than we do. Okay, so it is very easy for them to access and learn things in these digital devices than us. So the students that we are getting for our institutions, universities now, are digital natives. They are born after year 2000. Okay, they are born after 2000, so they are called digital natives. So they know what is technology. Okay, they know what is technology. Am I audible? Janani, can you hear
Yes,
me?
madam. Yes, madam.
So what I was telling is actually now we are getting the students who are called digital natives. So they know technology, right? They know what is technology. They know how to access technology. They know what is there in the technology, and also they have used the technology for various purposes. And also some schools in our country also have smart classrooms and technology-enabled learning. Okay, so when they come to the university, they already know that there is something called technology-enabled learning. Okay, so we are getting students from this kind of environment. So we have to be very careful when we handling this kind of people or students, because if we are not using this kind of technologies for their education purpose, they think we are outdated. Okay, they think we are outdated. So apart from all the other advantages of the digital technologies or the technologies that we can use for the education, the most important thing is the digital natives that we are getting. Okay, they come to the lecture hall with their mobile phones and they do various other things other than learning in our classrooms with the mobile phone. So we have to make sure that we are giving some tasks for them to do in the classroom with the help of technology. If we can send some questions or content to their mobile phone lively within your lecture hall, in the lecture hall, then it will be more, I mean, we can easily get their attention to the lecture than they do other things in the classroom. Okay, so that techniques we have to learn. So on the other hand, the problem is the people who are born before year 2000 are called digital immigrants. So we are called digital immigrants because we use these technologies in later our life, okay, in later part of our lives. Now we are using it. Okay, so there is a difference between digital immigrants and the digital natives. Okay, because we are very the digital immigrants, they find where it's somewhat difficult to access to the technology and they have to learn that technology apart from their expertise area. And in digital immigrants, the technological usage is not a part of their life. They can live even without the technology. Okay, but these people, they cannot live without the technology. Okay, so we have to understand that because we cannot correct them, right? Now, actually, we don't have to correct them. We should know the techniques on how to get them into the education, okay, through the these digital devices. Okay, right. Okay, then we will move to the what is blended learning. Okay, what is blended learning? So you know, in your homes you have the blender, right? You have a blender in your home, right? Most of your home we have this equipment called blender. So in blender, what you are doing, you are mixing things, okay, mixing two or more things together. If you only have one ingredient, you don't need to put into the blender and blend. Okay? But if you have 2 or more ingredients, you put into the blender and blend. So blended learning is actually, we are getting quite a few type of methods of teaching, right? And we deliver the contents to these methods. Okay, so we are mixing methods. Okay, so we will see what kind of methods that we can mix. So based on this mixing, based on these methods, it gets the name blended learning. Okay, right. So we will see what is blended learning, right? So there are actually four things highlighted here, right? Okay, 4 things highlighted here. I'm not going to go in, actually at this moment, I'm not, my intention is not going to go into deep in this 4 techniques, but just to tell you about, there are many methods of mixing, right? Many methods of mixing, right? The first one is combine or mix modes of web technology. It can be live virtual sessions, self-paced instruction, collaborative learning to accomplish an educational goal. So we are using the web-based technology in our classroom. So even in our homes, we are using web-based technology to accomplish an educational goal. Okay, so that is called, we are using web-based technology, and also we are using physical mode. Okay, so that is called blended learning. And combine various pedagogical approaches. So when we are using this kind of blended learning method, we have to use various pedagogical approaches like constructivism, behavioral cognitivism, to produce an optimal learning outcome. So when we are going through this, if you are having an intention to going through a series of lecture series, so I will explain what is constructivism, cognitivism, those things. So it is actually a mixture of pedagogical approaches, that is learning styles. Okay, we have to get a mixture of learning styles with the technology. So we can have this different learning styles in online environment as well as face-to-face environment. Okay, and combine any form of instructional technology with face-to-face. So any form of it is not only internet. It can be either videotape. I don't know whether you all can remember when we are schooling. I was schooling in the era of 1985 to 1999. That was the era when I was in my school. So at that time, there was a concept introduced by the Education Ministry. That concept called video-based education, right? Video-based education. What they did is they distributed televisions. Okay, they distributed televisions to each school, maybe for each class as well. And this television is fixed there. And also the video recorded lessons were provided. So what we supposed to do is we have to watch these videos, or the video recorder also provided through the TV, and should learn. Okay, actually at that time, sometimes the schools was closed because of the 1989. There was a struggle, and also time to time there was bomb blast. Okay, so at that time the missing lessons can be watched through the through this video record, or through these teams, right? So that was one of the concept or early type of blended learning mechanism introduced by the Ministry of Education at that time, but I don't know how successful it was, but I can remember that kind of attempt was there. So that is not internet. At that time, there was no internet. Yeah, at that time, there was no internet. At that time, the most popular type of technology was the video record. Okay, most rich houses got the video recorder and with the color television. Okay, and they can watch. So the Education Ministry, they provided that facility to the school. So the rotation basis, actually, the classes can watch these videos. Okay, so that is the latest technology available at that time, and that technology was absorbed to the education. And also CD-ROMs. Okay, still we are using CD-ROMs to watch our lessons, and films. There are educational films. Okay, so with that technology, you can introduce face-to-face. Face-to-face instructor-led training should be there. So that is called blended, right? The education technology is there, and also the face-to-face training is there. And mix or combine instructional technology with actual job tasks in create a harmonious effect of learning, and that is called actually incorporate training, right? In corporation also, in companies also, there are training methods where you can use the technology enabled learning. So while you are while you are working, you can learn. Okay, so that is also called blended learning. So anyway, for the blended learning, you have to mix two things together. That is face-to-face plus technology. Okay, face-to-face plus technology. And recently, I came across another word, not recently actually, there is a term called hybrid learning. Sometimes when the blended learning, when it is converted to the Sinhala, some people say it is දැන් blended learning එක සිංහලෙන් කියනවා නම් ඒක අපි ඇත්තටම මිශ්‍ර අධ්‍යාපනය කියලා තමයි කියන්න ඕනේ. Not දෙමුහුන් අධ්‍යාපනය කියන එක නෙවෙයි. Hybrid learning කියන එක නෙවෙයි. සිංහලෙන් ඒ වචනේ හරි වුණාට in English hybrid learning is not the blended learning. Hybrid learning is, now when you go to the school, the students are there, and some students, they cannot come to the class. They cannot come to the school because of some situation, like now in Sri Lanka, we have a fuel problem. So some students can go to the school, some students, they cannot. So for the students who cannot come to the class, you can have an online session while you are teaching to the physical or face-to-face students. Okay, the same lecture, same lesson can be delivered via online in the same time. That is called hybrid learning. That is two modes, not actually modes, two separate locations where the students are. One set of students are in the physical classroom, and one set of students are in the online classroom at the same time. So the teacher is delivering the same content to the face-to-face learners as well as the online learners. So that is called hybrid learning. It is not blended learning. It is not blended learning, right? Blended learning is the whole set of students are in offline mode at one time, and the whole set of students are at physical mode in one time. That is called blended learning. They are a group of students in the same class in online mode at the same time, and another group of students are there in physical mode. That is called hybrid learning. So that teaching approach is different than the blended learning approach. Okay, so you have to make clear that understanding. I saw that in Sinhala, in some instances, they are using this word, demuhun adhyapanya. Actually, the blended, when it converts to the Sinhala, the meaning is okay, right? අපිට දෙමුහුන් කිව්වට අපිට හිතන්න බෑ ඒක blended නෙමෙයි කියලා. නමුත් English වලින් blended and hybrid කියන එකේ අර්ථ දෙකක් තියෙනවා. Okay, so we had to understand what is this. Anyway, blended learning is in one time you have to have offline, at one time you can have physical classes. Okay, right. Okay, so there are blended learning models available. Okay, there are many blended learning models available. So you can see here. So blended learning is actually if you are combine brick and mortar and online learning together. What do you mean by brick and mortar? Brick and mortar is the physical class. Okay, the brick and mortar, since you are in management faculty, you know what is the meaning of brick and mortar. If you are teaching subject like information systems, e-commerce, you may come across this kind of word, brick and mortar. ඒ කියන්නේ brick කියන්නේ gadol. brick කියන්නේ gadol, mortar කියන්නේ සිමෙන්ති බදාමි කියන එක. එතකොට gadolin සහ සිමෙන්ති බදාමෙන් සැදුන කියන එක තමයි සිංහල තේරුම. So in English we are called brick and mortar. ඒ කියන්නේ physical classrooms. Okay, so brick and mortar is physical. So in e-commerce, we are telling the brick and mortar company. Brick and mortar company means a physical company. And the other companies are virtual companies. So e-commerce company, they are in online. Okay, so the same concept is there as well in education as well. So brick and mortar, you are in a physical class. So you are delivering traditional mode of learning. And also in brick and mortar, in the classroom, you can have some technology. Now, when the students are come to the lecture hall, you can use technological tools in order to get their feedback, get an answer for a quiz. For that kind of thing, you can use technology, but you are in a physical mode. Okay, you are in the physical mode, and you can have technology-enabled learning, right? In online learning, it is online. It can be either informal learning and full-time, that is formal learning. Okay, so in online learning now, if students if they watch some YouTube video and on the educational content that they want to learn, that is called informal online learning. Okay, because YouTube is not a formal. I mean, we are recommending only if we recommend some content to the students, they can watch it online. Otherwise, if the students watch a YouTube video, on educational YouTube video online, it is called informal online learning. And full-time online learning is the course is fully designed for the online mode, and the students can follow the full-time online learning course in the online learning environment. Okay, so the blended learning is the mixture of these things. That is, one time you are at physical mode, and in another time you are in online mode. So this online learning, in online mode, you can have this learning at anywhere where you are in. Okay, you can either be in your home, in your workplace, or while you are traveling, you can have the online learning. So the student's pace of time will matter for the online learning. But brick and mortar, they should come to the educational institute, either school or university, to get the education. Mixture of this is called the blended learning, right? So in blended learning also, we have several methods. Okay, we have several methods. So one thing is rotation model, right? In rotation model, there are another 4 methods, and we have flex model, a la carte model, and English virtual model. Actually, if you go through these modes one by one, rotation model, it is called rotating. That is called rotation, right? So station rotation is in a normal classroom. Every student has given an opportunity to go to a particular station. Okay, this is more suitable for the primary education. I don't know whether you can remember your early childhood days in your nursery. Sometimes we have given some tasks. The students should go to a particular corner of the class and do some work, do some activity there, and then if that particular group of students, they finish their task, they should go to another place to complete another task. Okay, so that is called station rotation. So in this blended learning, in this station, some online work has been given to do. Okay, maybe a computer is there, they can watch a video, they can answer a quiz, okay, or they can perform a particular task with a group of people. Okay, so station, there are station in the classroom. So you have to go each station in a particular time. Lab rotation means you have to go a particular lab. Okay, not in within a class, that is maybe to a computer lab. Okay, and from there you can do some online activity. So that is called lab rotation. That is a particular lab is set up to do the online task. Flipped classroom, I will come to this later because this is the method that I'm going to introduce to you all, and this is the most suitable method that higher education institutes can use. So I will keep this for a minute and I will go to the individual rotation. Is actually based on the learner's ability to learn, or based on the learner's level of absorbing the things. The teacher can ask the individuals to go a particular station. Okay. Now in this station rotation, every student should go each of the station. Here only a particular individual, that if the teacher perceives that a particular student is not in good level, he or she can ask that students to go back to another particular location or station and enhance his or her teaching, right? That is called individual, but here the group of people are rotationally going one by one. Flex model is actually the students they have to come to the physical classes, and the class is divided into offline and or physical and online. Okay, so in one subject there can be in the class is in physical, right? But one subject you can have it online. So in the academic institute you can have an online class while you are in the class. Okay, sometimes the lecturer cannot attend to the class, so they can have that kind of session in online, but it is prior schedule. Okay, the students know at that time we have to attend an online class. Okay, so for attending for the online class, they cannot go to their home. In the physical, in the educational institute itself, they have to attend for the online class. So in your institute also, if you are doing this kind of blended learning, if the resource person cannot come to the lecture or to your institute, or the resource person is in overseas, so still you can have this flex model, that is one subject can be taught in online. And a la carte is actually the students are given the opportunity to take, this is more suitable for these elective courses. Okay, because you are taking the elective courses from the other faculties, right? So if you are taking elective courses from other faculties, and if the timetable is not flexible, that you are having another lecture at that time, then the students can have the online course for them. So even at their home, they can have that class. Okay, even so, this is not compulsory. The online course is not compulsory for the students who attend for the physical location to the education institute. So they can go home, they can have that particular class online because the other faculties' timetable is not matching with your own timetable. So this also can be adapted in your environment. Enriched virtual mode is the pure online mode, that is total course is delivered online. Okay, but you have to prepare your content and you have to approve it that you are going to deliver this course through online. Okay, normally for the fully online degrees, there is no such such reputation. Okay, that's the problem here. But there are online courses, but the qualification is still not accepted by the most of the companies. But I think it is going to be changed soon because of this COVID and all the other problems. It will be changed soon, right? Okay, so with that, we will move to flipped classroom. I will just introduce the flipped classroom today and discuss the more detail in the flipped classroom in next lecture, if I have given the another time, because within 10 minutes, I will discuss what is flipped classroom with you, right? Okay. Right. So flipped classroom is actually you are flipping. Flipping can you are flipping. How you are going to flip your classroom? So in traditional mode of classroom, you are getting actually the classroom setup can be divided into 3 stages. That is before class, during class, and after class. Okay, the class session can be divided into 3 phases: before class, during class, and after class. So before class in traditional model, we don't do anything. Before coming to these lecture halls, we don't do anything. Okay, we are just going to the lecture hall. And what we are doing during the class, we deliver the lecture. Okay, and after the class, sometimes we give some homework, but sometimes we don't. Okay, so when students go home, they can either read their notes or memorize things, but they are not supposed to do anything unless they are not giving any homeworks. At the time of the examination, they have to study again. So that is the normal model of traditional model. So what you are doing in the flipped classroom, actually flipped classroom is not a method that introduced with the technology. It was there. Okay, even without the technology, you can have flipped classroom. But with the information technology or with the internet technology or with this online mode, it is more convenient to have the flipped classroom technique. Okay. So before class, students do reading or watch lecture prior to the class. So you are giving some readings to the students to do, or you are asked to ask students to watch a particular video, right? Or your lecture can be recorded 5 minutes and you can give it, or you can just ask a question. Okay, question and come up with some answers for that and ask students to come to the class with some answers. Okay, so you are giving some work to do to the students before coming to the class. And this activity, before class activity, should align with what you are going to do during the class. So during the class, you are going to give some activities to them. So with the help of the content that you gave before class, they have to work on that. So most of the time during the class, the teamwork, discussions, those things are the teaching methods that you are going to use in the class. Okay, so that is what the flip mean. And not only that, after class also you are giving some things to do in the class, in the home. Okay, you are giving some evaluation, some quizzes to attend, right, for the students. So the learning has not been ended during the class. It is going towards the after class as well, and you are going to evaluate them, right? So that is the method, or briefly what is flipped classroom is. And in flipped classroom model, I'm actually planning to do this one very thoroughly with you all. So outside the class activities are there for you all to remember, understand, and apply. So if you are familiar with the Bloom's taxonomy, I think since you are in academic field, you are familiar with the Bloom's taxonomy. So when you are setting up the learning outcomes, you have to follow the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So in Bloom's taxonomy, you have to do remember, understand, and apply. Okay, so those things you can do outside the classroom, right? Those things you can do outside the classroom activity. So just giving some tasks to the students to remember or to search something and understand it. Okay, and also you can do some application if after the class, that is after class activity. Okay, after class activity you can do some, ask students to do some activities, so applications, right? And during the class, what you are doing is, so in class, what you are doing is analyze, evaluate, and create. So by getting the things from outside class activities, you can have more thorough analysis, evaluation, and create new things within your class. Okay, so the Bloom's taxonomy, higher order thinking, higher order level thinkings can be applied during the class, and low order thinkings can be applied after the class. But application applies actually higher order thing, but this application can be done after class as the after class activity. Okay. So now I think you have understand what are the advantages of flipping. So you can promote peer interaction, okay, because you are allowing students to work as teams in your classroom, and also the student engagement will enhance, and also your teaching is more student-centered, right? And also you are allowing independent learning to the students. And also you can provide more individual or personal learning experience to the students during the class, because you can go to each team separately and discuss the matters, questions with them, because you have more time to discuss the matters with the students. Okay, so I will stop from this, because if I'm going to explain how to apply this flipped classroom, it will take some time. I think you got a bit brief understanding on what is flipped classroom. We will go how to, or we will do how to develop this kind of learning activities and flipped classroom techniques in your classroom. In my, if I get a chance to do a next lecture. Any questions do you have?
Yes, madam. Thank you very much. And I also think that all of us lecturers have learned some fascinating new concepts that we can start using from today onwards. So now we would like to open this platform for questions. So participants, if you have any questions, you can raise them now.
Thanks, Janani. Dr. Yatigammana, thank you, first of all, for that very informative session. This is not so much a question, well, it's a comment as well as a question. Now, these are all new. I'm also learning these techniques, flipped, all these technical terms and concepts. So I have actually tried personally. I didn't know, all this time I didn't know it was flipped classroom, but in order to practice this, you need to give some work prior to the lecture, right? So they bring some work to the lecture. So what I have done is, I usually do a lecture, and then I on the next in a day or two, I do a tutorial session where an entire hour is given for discussion based on the lecture. So what I have noticed is after the lecture, I give some reading, some basic reading material or things they have to watch, or, a certain YouTube clip, or, a journal article, something very simple for them to prepare and come with a, maybe I give them a question to answer. But what I have noticed is that most of them don't do this. Is there a way for us to encourage this more participation, because they don't speak, and some of them don't actually bring the work that they are supposed to do, which makes the class not very successful, because two people will speak, two people would have done the work, but others haven't. Is there a way to overcome this challenge?
Yes, actually, Dr. Kamalika, the thing is, for every of these activities, you have to give some marks.
Right.
You
okay.
have to give some marks. At least 1 or 2 marks will make them to talk and do the work.
Right. Okay? So that's like an encouragement for them to participate.
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
Yes. Because when you are developing your curriculum, I mean the course outline at the very beginning of the lecture, you had to inform the students that for their classroom activities, I'm going to give these marks. Okay.
Right.
And also for the attendance. Okay. Because some of the students, they don't come to the classes. Okay.
Yes.
So for that attendance also, you can at least give 5 marks per session. That will encourage them to participate, and also for each activity, at least 1 or 2 marks. Okay. So when the lectures will over, they will at least get 30 marks.
Right.
So that will be a good impact for them. So that is how actually in this any method of teaching, always they are saying that marks will encourage them to or motivate them to do their work.
Right.
Okay. And also, Dr. Kamanika, the other thing that you can do is give now, rather than you are evaluating the students within the classroom, give the peers to evaluate the others.
Right.
You can develop a small kind of this rubric. What is rubric, right? That is, you are given a specific guideline. If you are very good, 5 marks. If you are average, this much. So rubric can be given to the students, so they have a guideline now. Okay. Then ask students to evaluate their peers. Okay. So now they have a task to do, right? They have to observe what peers are doing. They have to listen what the peers are doing, right?
Yeah.
Then they will, and also you have to evaluate them, because sometimes they will evaluate they all will give the best marks or the higher marks, right? So you also have to evaluate, and also you have to control that evaluation process. Not only their evaluation, based on your evaluation, you should allocate marks, because the students, they always බලන්නේ හොඳ පැත්තට විතරනේ, so you have to control them, right? So that controlling you have to control the class. So that kind of peer evaluation and also giving marks, those techniques. And also, Dr. Kamalika, when you are giving some before class activity, not to give more theoretical type of activities.
Right.
Just give some general understanding. Now, if you are teaching the subject like economics, okay, now there are many latest news available on the economy, right? So you can give, if the fuel prices increases, what happened to your social life, right? I mean, just their day-to-day life, no? Right? Rather than asking whether the inflation is increased, whether it will impact for the inflation. No, don't ask that kind of technical jargon there, right? Just to give some, I mean, the general knowledge questions and activities will make them more involved in the lecture or the discussion, right? And also I will teach some of the technological tools that you can use in the before coming to the class. You can give that particular technology tools like Mentimeter. I know sometimes you may have used this. Box. There are technological tools or Padlet. So these students, they like to use these kind of technological tools when they are answering the questions.
I see.
The apps are available for them to download. Okay. So it is very easy while they are traveling. Also, they can answer your question, and also you can collect the answers before you come to the class.
Okay.
Then you have some guidance on what is their thinking, what is their ideas, what is their answers, and start your question or start your discussion from there. With their answers. Okay, someone has given this answer. Why is that? So what is the consequences? So with that, you can start the discussion, right? So then after that activity, then when you give some activity, of course, they will give some or they will lively participate your discussion and answer this or maybe answering the questions, because you are taking those inputs to your classroom, right?
Right. And I will be speaking their language, because like you said, I think I am also from your era, and
Yeah.
we are not very familiar with
Familiar
technology.
to
So
the
I think,
technology.
yeah, I think I have a lot to learn from you. Thank you very much for that, Dr. Yatigammana.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Kamalika. Yes, we will discuss. I will teach you some technological tools and
That's great.
easy methods of developing your digital contents. Okay, we have
Right.
developed software and
Yeah.
how to how to plan a class before you come into the class. So, and also how to
Right.
develop your LMS page more attractively. Right.
Right.
So those things we will discuss in later. This is just the beginning. Right,
Yeah.
I just introduced the concept of technology-enabled learning and flipped classroom mainly.
Right.
Like Dr. Kamanika, I think all of you have now, you are using the flipped classroom, right? But
Yeah,
the word flip is maybe a new term.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Any more questions like that?
Do we have any more questions or anything you want to clarify?
Seems you don't have more questions, Janani.
Yes,
Shall we
ma'am.
keep this time frame if you
Yes,
are...
madam. We are planning to do some more sessions under this topic.
Yes.
Uh,
So if you have any other resource person, of course you can get the help. So while he or she is there, I will also continue this session, right? It's okay. It doesn't
sure.
matter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure. Ma'am.
Okay.
So if you don't have any more questions, we can
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I have one sort of question.
Yes.
I heard some word in smart classroom, and also I think all the objects, all the instrument within the classroom, maybe the smart classroom method or the technique, and also I think in indigenous medical system, how we have many challenges in doing these kind of smart or the flip classroom techniques, because already what kind of the learning materials or the video things maybe, and also the other instruments, the lacking of that part is the
Dr. Ravindra, yes, I can understand what you are saying. So in smart, actually for the in order to use the technology enabled education, the smart classroom should not be a barrier, right? I will teach you without the smart classroom also, you can use these technologies, right? So I will teach you all. Because the if you have a smart classroom, of course you can do it more effectively, right? If you have a smart board, if the students computers can connect to the smart board, you can do it very effectively. Even though we don't have smart classrooms, still we can use technological tools and their mobile phones, right? and these flipped classroom methods and your LMS. You can effectively use your LMS for your teaching and learning without smart classroom. Actually, I have wrote an article also for one newspaper, actually it was one interview, I think. Digital අධ්‍යාපනයට smart classroom අවශ්‍යම නැහැ කියලා තමයි මම ඒක කිව්වේ. So in that article, I explained how the education can happen without smart classroom, right? So you can read that article. I will share if I have a copy. So I think that's the question you asked, right? So without these resources, how we can implement the technology-enabled learning? Yes, you can, right? We will discuss those things. Janani, I think that's the question. I think I got it right, right?
Yes. Yes, madam.
I think I got, because I didn't hear that question correctly. I think that's
it was breaking in the middle of the voice.
I think without resources, how can we implement that kind of thing he asked? Yes, we can.
If you have any other questions, please raise them. And yes, madam, thank you very much for your valuable insights. And with this, now I would like to, since we have come to the end of our session, now I would like to invite our Dean of the Faculty of Indigenous Social Sciences and Management Studies, Dr. Kamalika Jayatilaka, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Janani, and apologies, everyone. I'm not going to switch on my video because I have a Wi-Fi issue. So once again, Dr. Yatigammana, thank you very much for this very interesting and very informative session. Even though all of us are involved in the teaching learning activities, there is much for us to learn. We are a very young faculty, a very young university, and we are all still learning. So we have so much to learn, and we want to make our faculty, much more efficient and productive and successful. I mean, we want to create the right kind of graduate that would pass out as successful, not only professionals, but as humans as well. So in order to do that, learning the right methods and techniques of teaching is essential, is what I believe. So I would like to say thank you once again. We look forward to more sessions. And I would like to thank the Department of Management Studies for arranging this very useful session. And thank you again. So yeah, look forward to working very closely with you, Dr. Yatigammana.
Thank you, Dr. Kamalika. Actually, I am also very delighted to have this session with you all, because I was one of the resource person who were engaged to develop the management course curriculum of the University of York.
Right. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Yatigammana.
Thank you, Dr. Kamalika.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope I can continue the work, how you can deliver the course content that we develop effectively to the students, right?
So let's work together, yeah, and then we will arrange more sessions like this, and we look forward to working closely with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kamalika. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, madam.